This video will not give you any smart strategies on how to become a UX designer. Why not? Because of this thinking method called inversion. Stoics use this method where they would meditate on the worst things they could face daily so that they could plan ahead and prepare for the worst to come. You see, Stoics believe that getting ahead was not about this great strategy, but much more about avoiding being dumb. So I will share with you the worst things you could do that will make you fail as a UX designer so that you can avoid them. So if you want to fail as a UX designer, just go watch some YouTube tutorials, read some books and go through some design courses. Just consume information and never apply what you learn. That is like a basketball player watching on YouTube how to make better jump shots while the ball in his room is getting rusty. So make sure to actually not practice the technique or the principle you just learned. Just believe that understanding the logic behind it will actually make you a good UX designer. It will not. If you want to fail as a UX designer, just assume that once you practiced a new technique once or twice, you have already mastered them. Because why would a boxer go through jabbing thousands of times to improve their punching when they could just move on to a new punch? They actually punch thousands, hundreds of thousands times to master the technique, to move the technique from conscious competence where they have to think about doing it right to unconscious competence where they don't even need to think about it, so they can focus on stacking up the next skill. So if you are a UX designer who wants to fail, make sure that you just do the practice once or twice and believe that you have mastered that new design principle. If you want to fail as a UX designer, just make sure that you begin a new project today and tomorrow begin another one. Make sure that you actually don't finish any of your projects. When you begin a project and things get muddy where you discover real problems or constraints, just avoid the problems and go begin the new shiny thing. That is an excellent way to fail as a UX designer. If you want to fail as a UX designer, make sure that you find a workflow that works for your company's needs. Maybe you are a UX designer who's working in a small company that needs you to ideate out of ideas fast because they don't have enough design talents to do a higher fidelity design. Make sure that when you move on to a new project, just change the workflow that has been working for you. Just try something that will disrupt everything you built for and try to do something completely innovative because you just want to do something new. And that is an excellent way to fail as a UX designer, looking at what works and changing it just to be different. And finally, if you want to fail as a UX designer, make sure you assume you are always right. Of course, confuse confidence with actually being closed-minded. Assume that because others are not designers, their feedback are invalid and they do not have the capacity to understand your design solutions. It is an excellent way to fail as a UX designer because it is very hard to improve and learn something new if you already believe you know it. Now, if you want to succeed in UX design, you have to flip through the previous 5 statements. Make sure that you not only just consume content but apply everything you have learned. Make sure that you don't assume you have mastery on a skill when you just practice it 2 or 3 times, but make sure you practice it hundreds of times. Start the new project and finish the new project. Make sure that your workflow that works for you gets systematized instead of you trying to change it so that the others can benefit from your work as well. And always make sure that the person you are talking with has something that they can teach you because you are never above learning from somebody who is just not you. Now that you understand some of the ways that can make you succeed in UX design instead of failing at it, and you are looking to improve much more of your design practices, make sure you click on that next video so you will learn how to practice design.